Hello, everyone. Are we ready for the next speaker, for the next lecture? I see people outside that are hesitating if they should be here. So please come in and close the doors after you. No. Okay. So our next speaker is from Grafana, and she's been in the business for the last 10 years or even more? More than 25. Okay. So you started as a baby? Okay. Okay. She's going to talk about the 50 plus first timer.
I'm 51, so.
Okay. And I'm going to leave the stage to Imma, and she's going to tell you everything about the next presentation. Please, applause for her.
Thank you. Thanks for joining. I don't see anyone with the lights. Great. So first of all, I wanted to thank the organization for inviting me. It's the first time for me in this conference, and I hope I'm coming back next year probably. So we're really happy to be here from Grafana. I'm Imma Valls. I'm a developer advocate at Grafana Labs, but mostly what I'm very passionate about is organizing communities. So I'm a part of several communities in Barcelona, Cloud Native. I'm a group of women called TechFems. We organize an online conference, Cloud Nativos. I'm also an organizer in Software Crafters Barcelona, so I'm really passionate about organizing open source communities. And also, of course, because I work at Grafana, I organize Grafana meetups. I'm also very passionate about, recently, about helping underrepresented groups in tech, so I also give a lot of talks about that, and I like supporting underrepresented groups to be part of tech. I really believe we need diverse voices, and I try to be a better ally to help people who have less privilege than me actually come to tech. So this is the agenda for the talk. I'm going to show how I started contributing open source after 50. So I always thought it would be impossible. Like I felt I was too old, that my voice was not needed, but it turns out it's not that difficult. You can do it if you want. So I'm going to share my journey, what I learned in that journey, and how you can contribute too. So about my journey, they tell me that in Bulgaria cats are a thing, that you really like cats. So I grew in an isolated farmhouse with more than 40 cats and no electricity. So this was my upbringing. My mother loves cats, and so all the family loves cats. And I became an OpenTelemetry member, so that has been an interesting journey for me, and hopefully you'll find it interesting. So it shows that anyone can actually do it, given the right conditions. I studied at an Ann's boarding school, so that's probably why for me, seeing women doing math or doing chemistry or physics, it felt natural, because the teachers were women. So I never had the problem of thinking, hey, women don't belong in tech, because my teachers were women. The first time I started coding, it actually was a little bit random, because I have an older brother, and he wanted to learn coding, and my parents sent him to coding classes on Saturdays. And because they wanted to get rid of me, they said, okay, you two go together. So this is where I found that I really like coding a lot, and I enjoyed that. So I was the only girl in the class, but I really had fun. And finally, I decided to start studying engineering in Barcelona. So I went from an isolated farmhouse, no electricity. Well, we had electricity when I was older. But I went to Barcelona, a big city, studying engineering. So it was really a huge sense for me. But I was able to make it. My past work is usually in companies, Spanish companies. As a Java developer, I've done several things. I've been in operations, I've been a sysadmin, usually in insurance or banking companies, so very traditional. So it was the usual thing, a lot of guys in our teams. So in that way, I never thought of contributing to open source, because when you work in those companies, the code is secret. You cannot even share what you're doing. So you don't use GitHub, or you don't use anything that's public. And it's when I joined Elastic and Grafana that I actually realized, yeah, there's a way of doing things in public. These companies support free software and open source. And this is where I thought maybe I could do that, but I felt I was too old because I was already 45. I was like, oh, maybe I'm too old to do that. Maybe I'm lucky that I'm in these companies and they do that, but this is for young people. So I really didn't think about it. I started organizing communities. This is something I felt I could do. I enjoy organizing events. I enjoy talking to people. So this is something that if you want to talk to me, just connect to me on LinkedIn. I'm super happy to talk to people and learn things. So I was very happy organizing communities, but in the back of my mind, I still wanted to contribute to open source. And for me, contributing to open source was like do merge pull requests, like do something on GitHub and actually merge the code and see it in the open. So for me at the time, it was like, how can I do that? I don't feel very comfortable. I'm a Java developer, but in banks and insurances, you work with Java 8. Everything is very old. So it's like, okay, I don't feel like I belong in this new. I started learning Kubernetes, luckily, at my last job. But I felt like I was like too old to do that. But luckily for me, my company supports Grafana, supports OpenTelemetry, and they actually pushes us to contribute to. Said, okay, my company is pushing us. They are not asking me what age I am, so I can do it. And I started, I thought first, let's join the Kubernetes operator because I really enjoy Kubernetes and the concept of operators is something that I am really interested in. But my experience there was not really good and probably my fault as well, because I didn't investigate a lot and say, okay, I'm just going to join the Kubernetes operator meetings and I'm going to chat with the people and it's going to be very easy to contribute. And I joined one of the calls they did. And I didn't even ask me who I was or why I was there. And it felt very uncomfortable. I was like, hey, I'm doing something wrong here. Maybe there's another way I need to do these things. So because I was actually starting to read all the documentation for the operator and for OpenTelemetry, said maybe there's a way I can actually do something useful while reading the documentation, which is translating to my own language, Spanish. So then I was looking into OpenTelemetry, and there's actually a new group that was translating into Spanish the documentation. I said, okay, while I'm reading the documentation, why not translate? It should be an easy thing you can do. And this is actually the group that I belong to now. It's the group that's actually translating the documentation for OpenTelemetry into Spanish. It's a great group of people. They are very welcoming. They just received me super well. They gave me instructions on how to do my first contribution. And I find it super easy to do that once they gave me those instructions. And they are very, very supportive. So for me, it was very easy to start doing pull requests. And even if it's documentation, I felt, hey, I'm actually contributing to OpenTelemetry. It's something that the community needs. Because I care a lot about underrepresented groups, it really resonates with me. Because creating documentation in Spanish allows people who don't speak English to actually access the technology. So for me, it felt like it was a good thing as well to do. And I was also very lucky because Carol Valencia, she's the one leading the group, actually has this documentation that's very nice as a starter kit, if you want to do translations in Spanish, of course. And that helped me a lot because it really explains all the steps for someone who is new, what you have to do, how you have to do it. And it's very useful because they also tell you, don't do big pull requests, do small things. Start doing that, learn how the reviews go, learn from the reviews, and the next pull request you'll do better. So I started doing small contributions, and it was really something that motivated me to continue. To a point that after, I think it's the first month of doing pull requests, I took some times on Fridays to just focus on that in the afternoon. I sit down, I only do that for the afternoon. And every week I was doing 1 or 2 pull requests. And after a month, one of the maintainers reached out and said, hey, Imma, I've seen that you've been doing great work. Do you want to become a member? I was like, oh, now I feel like I belong to the community. So they sponsored me to become a member, and now I'm a voting member of OpenTelemetry. And they are now asking me, do you want to be a reviewer and approver? So they are very helpful in making you feel connected to the team and say, hey, you can actually stay here. We want you to stay here, and we're happy to have you here. So actually now, thanks to them, I have good contributor card with some contributions to OpenTelemetry, the Cloud Native Foundation, and my dev stats are going a little bit up, not too much. So I felt like I'm actually achieving something. These are very nice URLs if you're contributing to the CNCF to find out how many contributions you have. But when I was preparing this talk, I was like, but actually, you've been contributing to open source way before this, because you don't have to do a pull request to actually be contributing. When you organize a community group, you are contributing to open source. So I had been doing that for a long time, and I hadn't realized that, hey, really, you've been contributing for a longer time. It's not only about pull requests and code. It's about more. So what are my learnings from this time? The first thing is try to find the right project for you to start, because if I had stayed with the operator, I didn't feel connected to this team, so I probably had said, okay, I'm not going to contribute, it's not for me. So even if you don't like the first project you join or the first team you join, try to find where you feel comfortable and where you feel supported, where you have sponsors that will actually believe in you and say, hey, you can do this. So that was my first learning. It's like, hey, I'm sure I will go back to the operator, but I really wanted, I will stay in the documentation team for a while because I really like the team and I feel really connected to them. Other things that I learned is listen to contributors. The first time I did a pull request, I took like, I'm going to do a lot of translations at the same time. So I took like 4 or 5 pages and I translated all of them in the same pull request. And then the reviewers have a lot of work to review, mistakes that you are repeating in all the pages that you are translating. So I tell you, please don't do pull requests that have like 5 pages. Do one, learn from this one, and then continue contributing. And the other thing that's important, obviously, is reading the contribution space, which this is very well explained, and you can actually learn from that. And also be realistic with your time and being consistent. For me, why they offered me to be a member is because I have been contributing every week consistently. I mean, I don't do 100 pull requests and then I disappear. It's just, I keep appearing there. When there is a meeting, we have bi-weekly meetings, so I appear in the meetings. If I cannot make it, I'm going to say, hey, this week I cannot make it. But I try to be there when we discuss things, so I think that gains trust, and that's why the team thinks, hey, this person is here to stay. It's not just randomly helping with this, and she's not going to stay. So for that, I think it was a good thing that I learned. And more importantly, I think, all contributions are contributions. So when you organize a conference, an event, a meetup, like the organizers of OpenFest, they are contributing to open source. So it's like, I hadn't thought of that. Like, it's not about just code. Contributions can be of very different things. You can be responding to, if there is a community forum with questions, you can be responding to those questions. If there is a Slack channel where people are asking questions, you can respond to that, and it's also a contribution. So it's not just about how many pull requests I do on GitHub. It's about helping the community based on your skills. The other thing that's why I'm so lucky is because I work for a company that actually, Grafana Labs, that supports open source. So I don't have to find time outside my office hours to contribute. It's part of my work. So that's a really lucky thing that I have, and that actually has helped me a lot. Otherwise, being consistent, it probably would happen outside office hours, in my weekends, and maybe one week you cannot do that because you have other things to do, you have a life. So it's very useful if you have a company, and there are companies that actively support open source, and it's part of your work to contribute. And don't forget to have fun, because it's not just work. It is to have fun with your colleagues and enjoy. I really like the relations I made with the other people in this group. We're actually even presenting talks together at conferences, and we really feel like we have a good connection, and we enjoy. So I think that's also very important. Don't just do it because you have to do it. If you're not having fun, if you're not enjoying, you're probably not going to stay doing that. So now, I guess, to the good part for you all. I don't know, who's contributing here to open source already? Probably most of you. Raise hands. One. Not many people contributing, maybe another one. if you count the organizing conferences, that's contributing to open source. But yeah, my idea with the talk is try to convince you that you can contribute to open source, that it feels really good. When I was working at banks and insurances, I felt that we were using this software, but we were not paying forward. We were not doing anything to actually support all the volunteers that were actually building the software that we were using. So I feel that it's very important, and I'm happy that I worked for a company that values that. But yeah, I guess when I was working at the banks and insurance, I should have thought of that and maybe used part of my own time to do it. But I didn't know how to start. When I joined these companies, you have the support because your colleagues are already doing that, and they can help you navigate the projects. Like, hey, this project would be for you, or I can go there with you and I can introduce you. So it's easier for you to actually gain some trust because you go with someone who they already trust. So it helps, but I guess it's doable if you don't have that. So for me, the way to start was the Cloud Native Computing Foundation, because I was already organizing meetups and I had a lot of connections in the community. But there's many, many other projects that you can work for. The Cloud Native is under the Linux Foundation. It's the one that takes care of the open source ecosystem under Cloud Native. It's also there to promote community and collaboration, and it tries to standardize and educate, get best practices for the community when using cloud-native technologies. I've been a fan for Kubernetes for a while. I know that it's not very popular, but I happen to enjoy Kubernetes, so it was a natural fit for me to try to be in that community. Actually, if you look at, this is the 10th anniversary of the Cloud Native Computing Foundation, and there's a huge amount of contributors, almost 300,000, a lot of code commits, pull requests, so there's a lot of people contributing. And here I think it's one of the important things that applies to any project. That's what we were talking about. There are code contributions and things that are contributions even if it's no code. So in the case of the Cloud Native Foundation, they have the technical advisory groups, they have sub-projects, and they have a lot of projects where you can work. The one I work in is OpenTelemetry. It's the second most successful project in the Cloud Native after Kubernetes. It's growing really fast, but there are a lot of other projects that if you like, Prometheus is one of them, so you can contribute to any of the projects that are there. And the one URL that's really useful is this contributor dev that actually tells you who is looking for help in some issues. And you can use that. And we'll see it later, that you can actually use this to start contributing. And there's no code contributions, which is, for me, very important. You can write a blog post. You can help with the documentation of all the projects. There is a glossary in the Cloud Native community. There is Cartographers who takes care also of the landscape. I don't know if anyone remembers the landscape of the Cloud Native Foundation that started being small and now it's impossible. You need to zoom in to see anything with so many projects. But it's something that also people who are not contributing code are helping. And there's, of course, there's all the documentation for all the projects. So it's not only OpenTelemetry or Kubernetes, there's a lot of projects. So for example, people in Bulgaria, if you want to have a translation of the documentation, you can start that translation. And then you would have the documentation in Bulgarian. So it's something that anyone can start. Like, for example, Diana Todea is helping us with the Spanish translation, but she's Romanian. And she recently started a group to translate to Romanian. I said, OK, he found like some contributors, and now they started a group to translate OpenTelemetry to Romanian. Something that is useful for your community, because it gives access to other people to the documentation, and something to start contributing. And then once you do that, you can decide where else do you want to move in that project. For Cloud Native, if you don't know about it, there's several ways to join. We have the community groups that we organize conferences, meetups. I'm in the Barcelona one. We have a Slack where everything happens, so if you want to help in any project, you should join a Slack and you will see the channels for that project. You can introduce yourself there and say, hey, I'm here, I want to help, and people will respond to you and will help. And more importantly, they have a good mentorship program, so if someone doesn't know how to start contributing, you can apply as a mentee, and they will assign you a mentor. and then that person takes care of you. In OpenTelemetry, we have mentees very often. So they have projects for 4 or 6 months, and the mentors help them with that project. And the project can be code things or can be things that are no code, depending on what the person wants to do. So this is very useful if you're not sure how to do it. I probably should have done this before, but I guess I had the misconception that I'm too old to be a mentee, and it's not right. I should have been a mentee, and then probably it would have been very, very easy for me compared to this. As I said, this is a good URL if you don't know where to start in Cloud Native, because they publish here all the new issues that are asking for help. For example, I created an issue asking, you know that the documentation, when you translate it to Spanish, when someone updates the English documentation, it drifts, and then you need to update the Spanish one. So we have a process to know which pages need to be updated. And I created an issue to track those pages, so people, when they want to contribute, they say, hey, I'm going to update this page that it's updated. And now it's updated. So I opened this issue, and actually someone from the community reached out to me in Spanish and said, hey, I saw this in Contributor. Can I help you with that? I said, yeah, go ahead and help us. So this is a good place where people will find things that you need and will offer to help. So you can also go there and try to find things where you can help. I probably think that the main thing is everyone needs time to contribute. It's not easy. And for that, one of my favorite things, of course, is trying to find a company that supports open source. If you don't know which company support actually do more commits or work more for the CNCF, there are some Grafana dashboards that show you which companies are actually actively contributing. So maybe when changing jobs, if you're interested in a project, you can go and look whose companies are contributing to that project. Maybe you can try to work for those companies. So for example, Grafana is collaborating a lot with maintaining Prometheus, with OpenTelemetry. So if you're interested in one project that you know, you can actually get to know whose companies might be more interesting for you to work, because they track who is contributing more for each project. And the main recommendation probably is find the project that you really love, because if you're not passionate about it, you're probably not going to stick to it. So find something that you really like and try to do that. Because otherwise, just contributing for contributing, it's probably not going to be very motivating. So you really should find the one thing you love. Of course, yeah, at time, advertisement, you can also contribute to Grafana. You can contribute to any project that's open source. We happen to have a good page. As I said, always read the contributing pages on the projects. They are usually very extensive, and they will tell you how you should work, the different ways. For example, we have a section for technical contribution. We have a section for non-technical contributions or non-code contributions. Like you can go to the Grafana forums and respond. You can go to Slack and respond to people. You can help with issue triage as well. So there's a lot of tasks that you can do without coding. And finally, I wanted to share some takeaways. Most of it, it's never too late or even too early. I mean, if you're young and feel, hey, I'm not experienced, I cannot contribute. The mentees I see are very young people, and they are actually contributing. So it's just finding the way to do it. And if you want to do it, you can do it. Find the project that you like. Think that there's not only code contributions. You can do so many different things. Just find the project and see what you like. You like writing blog posts, write blog posts. You like more the communication side. Whatever you like. Some people do videos for the projects, showing things. So there's different things that you can do. You can give talks at conferences about that project. So that's also contributing to those projects, raising awareness about those projects. So anything that you want to do, you might be able to do for a project and helping that open source project. Also start small, not do like I did, a huge PR that is very difficult to review. Be realistic with your time, don't overcommit, like, hey, I'm going to do this and this and this and this. When I started, I was like, yeah, I'm going to translate all this and all this and all this. And I kept, in all the issues, I said, yeah, I'm going to take this and I'm going to do this. One at a time, don't worry. If you have time only 4 hours a week, whatever you have, be realistic with the time you have. And more importantly, this is what helped me become a member, is be consistent, that they see that Even if you only do a pull request every week, you keep doing one pull request after the other, and that you keep improving because you get the feedback, you learn from the feedback, and you apply it for the next pull request. If you can seek companies that support open source, because then it's going to be easier for you. But if not, you can figure it out probably. I should have figured it out before. And don't wait to do it. That's one thing I also, especially women, but I guess everyone, sometimes we think, oh no, if I want to contribute to this project, they are Golang experts, and I need to know this and this and this and this. I need to understand all that. And if you try to learn everything you think you need to know to start, maybe you will never start. I was trying like, hey, I need to, they will not want me in OpenTelemetry. There's so many things I do not know. Yeah, but there's always something you can help with, and while you are there, you will learn new skills. For example, now that I'm doing documentation, the next thing that I'm thinking of is either the operator or the team that is doing semantic conventions in OpenTelemetry. So the thing that I will try next is pair with someone who knows semantic conventions, and maybe they will help me actually get introduced to that. So try to find the things that you need to learn, because it's also a learning opportunity. If you don't know Golang, actually when I was talking to a new teammate we have, she said, oh, you want to contribute to Studio Operator in OpenTelemetry? I don't know Golang, but we can learn together. And I said, oh, that's right. We don't know Golang enough to do that, but we can learn. So this is a good motivation to learn Golang. It will take more time, but it's something that can actually give us an opportunity to work together and learn something. So don't wait until you have all the skills. Use it also to learn skills. Take a very easy issue, talk to the maintainers and say, hey, I'm going to take this. I'm not an expert. Do you think I can do this? And if they say yes, go ahead. I think they are more open than we think in terms of allowing people to learn why they contribute to open source. Otherwise, sometimes it makes no sense to contribute if you're not learning anything new. So for me, that's what I will try to do. Try to learn something new while I continue contributing. And yeah, what I would ask you now, so there's so many people here who hasn't contributed yet, that you take some time and you think of what project would you like to contribute to and how you can do it the next week or the next month or the time frame that you have. Try to, after this talk, think about, hey, I'm really passionate about this, and I'm going to look into it and see how could I contribute to that. Something that we use in our day-to-day, that we know is open source, and maybe they need maintainers. For me, for example, I thought that the Kubernetes translation to Spanish was already covered, and I found out that they actually need more people. So if we really like something, just investigate. Maybe they need people, and you can actually help them continue with the project. Makes it more sustainable, different voices that add to the project. So that's it from me. Thank you very much. These are the slides if anyone wants them.
Yeah, thank you very much. And if someone has a question, we still have time. We have a spotlight over there where the mic is, and you can go there and ask your question.
No. I need to give something. I need to bring some gifts to get questions.
Yeah, we have a volunteer.
Good.
Hello, thanks for the presentation. Really inspiring. And let's not forget that it's October, so Hacktoberfest continues. And there are lots of opportunities, so please contribute. And most of the time, this opens a lot of doors for your career. So
thanks for reminding me that, because I wanted to put it in the slides and I forgot. Thank you.
Okay.
Because I was thinking that's actually the right time to say there's Hacktoberfest, and they are looking for new contributors, and it's the right time to contribute.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I have a quick question. What is the relation between Elastic and Grafana?
I work there mostly.
That's only that?
They are similar companies. I mean, they are in the observability space. It's similar. For me, Elastic was the first time I worked for a company that supports open source, maybe not in the same way as Grafana, but I didn't feel there that I was supported in a way that I could dedicate time for that. compared to when I joined Grafana, where I can dedicate time for that. But they are very similar companies in the same observability space. So.
Yeah, but is Elastic commit to Grafana or no?
Is Elastic?
Elastic commit to open telemetry and Grafana as
Yes.
open source?
All of them contribute. Splunk contributes, Microsoft. So if you look at the dashboards I shared, you'll find Dynatrace, a lot of companies, because OpenTelemetry wants to be vendor neutral. It's the standard for collecting telemetry signals and sending them. So this is the part that all the vendors agree on. So all of them are contributing. So any company that is contributing a lot, if you work there, they should allow you to contribute to OpenTelemetry.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Is there someone else?
We're done.
I think we are good. So let's give another round of applause for Imma.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think